Today we're going to talk about the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament. Has been very exciting. There's been a lot of nail biters. Me and my wife, we made a bet who was going to buy dinner at the end of the tournament. I'm going to let you know now. After the first round, we both lost. Hey, nieces and nephews, Uncle Jay here from wnba.store. Like to welcome you to Barbershop Talk, where we talk about the topics that others won't. Hey, nieces and nephews, Uncle Jay here, Jay from wnba.store. Like to welcome you to the Barbershop Talk, where we talk about the topics that others won't. Today, we're going to talk about the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament. Has been very exciting. There's been a lot of nail biters. We're going to give a preview of the Sweet 16 of the women's tournament. I'm going to give my picks. Me and my wife, we made a bet who was going to buy dinner at the end of the tournament. I'm going to let you know now. After the first round, we both lost. We made some bad picks, but it's been very, very exciting. First of all, I want to say shouts to Juju Watkins. We want to say our prayers out. We hope she recovers. She had an ACL tear during the last game, as we hope she recovers. She's a great basketball player. She added a lot to this tournament. I was looking forward to seeing USC versus UConn. Many out there know UConn is my number 2 team. My number 1 team is LSU. But hopefully she recovers and she come back stronger. But I want to give an honorable mention. The game of this tournament so far, in my opinion, has been Maryland versus Alabama. That was a heater. Sarah Ashley Barker, she scored 45 points in that game and went to double overtime, but it wasn't enough. I told y'all about Shyanne Sellers. Everyone meet Miss Shyanne Sellers. She threw up 28 points to beat Sarah Ashley Barker, a 111 to 108 double overtime win. Everyone say hello to Miss Shyanne Sellers. I hope she comes to the Chicago Sky. I hope we get her. Some other news. My other girl, Ozzy Fudd, says she's going to stay in college for another year. She's going to take her last year of eligibility. I think she should have came out. We might have a predicament like another injury or something like that that might derail her career. I think this was her high time to come out now. Next year she comes out, we don't know. I hope Flau'jae comes out this year. But Ozzy Fudd has decided to stay. But Miss Shyanne Sellers, thank you for that game. I watched that game like 3-4 times already. I'm going to watch it again before the Sweet 16 start tomorrow. I'm going to watch it again. But here are my picks for the Sweet 16. Here are my picks for the Sweet 16. We got Notre Dame versus TCU. TCU beat Notre Dame early in the season. I think TCU will take this matchup. I think they're going to win it again. TCU is playing phenomenal. If you look at them play, they look like a professional team out there. Sedona Prince, HVL, Haley Van Lith, I told y'all, she's like the best player under 5'8", maybe the top 5. Tennessee versus Texas. I'm taking Texas. Tennessee, they got that hockey substitution and they wear out teams, but I think Maddie Booker can pull this one off. I think she wants to prove that she's one of the best players in college basketball and that Texas is the number 1 seed. So I think Texas take that matchup. North Carolina versus Duke. Both of these teams are sometime you never know what you're getting. You know, one day they show up, one day they don't. I think Duke takes this matchup versus North Carolina. Maryland versus South Carolina. You know I love Miss Shyanne Sellers. You know, deep down I want them to win, but I don't think Maryland can handle South Carolina. Stifling defense, I think their defense is too much. The point guard for Maryland, T. Basu, she dribbles too much, and I think Raven and Pow will give her difficulties around the perimeter. She's not gonna be able to dribble the air out of the ball. She usually takes like 20 seconds to get into her offense, and she likes to take last-second shots, but I don't think she'll be able to get that off on South Carolina. Now, if Maryland plays like Maryland, they can have a chance, but I think South Carolina has too much for Maryland, and I think South Carolina takes that matchup. Ole Miss versus UCLA. Ole Miss is a hard-playing team, but I think UCLA takes this matchup, and they make it to the Final Four. I think Lauren Betts, Kiki Rice, I think they pull this one off, and they go on to meet South Carolina. LSU versus NC State, that's going to be a great matchup. You have Isaiah James, Sanaya Rivers versus Big Foe, Flau'jae Johnson, Anissa Morrow, Michaela Williams, and company. I think LSU, their defense, will give NC State problems. I think it'll be close game. I think LSU pulls it off, and then I think they have too much firepower for NC State. You know, they do have Brooks and others, but I think LSU pulls that one off. Kansas City State versus USC. When Juju went down, Kiki Earfram, she had a great game. She threw up 36 points. Maybe that game was just a momentum game, you know, because Juju went out. Maybe they won it for Juju. I think they could pull this one off against Kansas State. So I'm going to give USC the win. UConn versus Oklahoma. You have Bears there. It's going to be a tough matchup for UConn, but I think UConn is hitting on all cylinders right now. They're running like a well-oiled machine. They have too many weapons for Oklahoma. Paige Bueckers, Ozzie Fudd, Sarah Strong. I think they just have too much for Oklahoma, and I think UConn takes the win. In my Final Four, I will have Texas versus South Carolina, LSU versus UConn. And like I said, I'm an LSU fan, but UConn is my second team. I got UConn beating LSU because I think they're just running too good right now. I don't think they could be beat right now. And I have South Carolina versus Texas. I think South Carolina takes that. My championship game is South Carolina versus UConn. I think UConn wins it. I think Paige wants to leave with a championship. So that is my champion I have in the overall tournament is UConn. I want everybody to take a pause. I want you to stop. This is what I want everybody to do. Go to that button on the bottom and hit the subscribe. I want you to subscribe to this channel, hit the notification so you don't miss none of the content that we drop at Barbershop Talk. That's what I want y'all to do first. I thank you for becoming a subscriber to this channel. Let's go.